Hello and welcome to Business News. I am Frank Omalapi and here are some of the reports we're filing at this time. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has advised the Central Bank of Nigeria on the need to allow the Naira to reflect market realities, which financial experts most times refer to as floating exchange rate, in order to boost supply. Osinbajo disclosed this at the Presidential Villa in Abuja on Monday during the midterm ministerial performance review retreat, stressing that previous efforts to persuade the president to allow the adjustment of the exchange rate had constantly met a brick wall. Analysts, however, warned that the suggestion by the vice president could have a debilitating effect on the economy. They advised the federal government to enhance local production of goods and export in order to solve the current foreign exchange crisis. The federal government has been advised to reconsider its planned taxation. And now the federal government has been advised to reconsider its planned taxation, which was highlighted during the 2022 budget breakdown in Abuja recently. Recall the Minister of Finance Zainab Ahmed, while speaking at a public presentation of the highlight of 2022 appropriation bill, said there was no going back on plans to impose the excise duties on carbonated drinks. Speaking on the government plan earlier in our business flagship program, Business Breakfast, Mr. Olushola Popola highlights the impact of the tax policy on businesses.
You see, when you look at when the government is making policies, when they're making their policies, you want to look at the effect of this policy on the general and on the generality of the people. Now, you see, increase or imposing taxes on goods and services is nothing new. It's something that every country will do to increase revenues and things. But, you know, when you look at what time is it coming in and why, you see, taxes on carbonated soft drink, you want to look at it that, you know, if the government is coming in from the position that, oh, for health reasons, just like we have in Australia, in Germany, where they imposed higher kind of tax levels on carbonated soft drinks because of health reasons, stating that there are, these are sugar-based products and increases the chances of diabetes and all these stuffs on the citizenry, obesity and things. You know, that's one aspect. But when our government is talking about imposing this tax in order to increase revenue, my question is this: have we exhausted every other means of increasing revenue? Some time ago, the chairman of the Federal Inland Revenue Service said Nigeria is losing about 5.4 trillion naira to tax evasion. Now, if you could give this kind of figure, that means you've done some work to arrive at that. How much are we going to be taxing the carbonated industry, soft drinks, to generate as much as the 5.4 trillion naira that is being lost through evasion, tax evasion? You will want to think that if it is the drive to increase revenue, then we should go after the 5.4 trillion. We should go after what are the things that we're going to do to make sure that tax evasion is reduced, and where is this? I didn't come up with that figure, they came up with that figure.
Right.
So they must have identified some loopholes in the economy, some loopholes in the operations where this money is going to. I think more energy should have been put in that aspect to recover or to make sure that they kind of recoup this kind of money than to put to further levy tax on carbonated carbonated drinks.
Yeah. And away from there now, some stakeholders have decried the supply shortage and the increase in the price of household cooking gas. According to recent data released by the National Bureau of Statistics, the average cost of purchasing a 12.5 kilogram cylinder of household cooking gas in Nigeria rose by 7.16% year-on-year in July 2021 to 4,422 naira 32 kobo, and has since jumped to between 7,000 and 8,000 naira respectively. Speaking on our business flagship program, Business Breakfast, via the telephone, a former South-West Zonal Chairman of National Union of Petroleum and Gas Workers, NO.1, attributes the current price to inconsistency on the part of the government.
Well, you said it all. You know, the marketers, they feel the pinch. They are also the best the position to know the problem they are facing. But as also a stakeholder in the industry, the reason you just enumerated just now is part of the challenges we are facing. But when there's shortages in supply, there's bound to be an increase in the price. So presently, I think a kilo is being sold for 600 naira. If you multiply that one by 12.5, you get about 7,500
Right.
for 12.5 kg.
Right.
So and you also look at the demand too. So a lot of people, the government is also encouraging Nigerians to abandon the usage of kerosene, and they want everybody to be using gas. And if there is not enough quantity, the volume needed for people that are migrating from kerosene usage to diesel to gas usage, it's going to be a very big problem, and that is the challenges we face. Most of these marketers are so complaining about the forest.
Yeah.
You know, the interest rate of that is also a very big challenge to all everybody in the oil and gas industry. The policy maker need to be more open to Nigerians. It's better they let Nigerians know the challenges they're about to face. And before you over migrate, you also encourage somebody to be making use of a particular or used to your particular policy. You should have made an adequate preparation for it so that there will be a soft landing for every one of us.
And now the World Bank has disclosed that the debt burden of the world's 47 low-income countries, including Nigeria, rose 12% to a record level of $860 billion in 2020. This was revealed at the ongoing hybrid annual meetings. It also added that while measures were aimed at addressing the health emergency, cushioning the impact of the pandemic on the poor and vulnerable, and putting countries on a pathway to recovery, the resulting debt burden of the world's low-income countries rose 12% in 2020. The World Bank report further disclosed that prior to the pandemic, many low and middle-income countries were in a vulnerable position, with external debt stocks of low and middle-income countries combined rising 5.3% in 2020 to about $8.7 trillion. And our President Muhammadu Buhari has assured Nigerians that the 11.9 kilometers second Niger Bridge, 120 kilometer Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, and other pivotal projects under the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund will be completed within the second term of his administration. The President stated these at the opening of a two-day midterm ministerial performance review retreat organized to assess progress made towards the achievement of the 9 key priorities of his administration. President Buhari further said his administration has made significant progress on railway projects in the country, noting that upgrading of the railway network has been extended with the recent completion of the Lagos-Ibadan line.